History remembers the great wars, the kings, and the revolutions. But some stories slip through the cracks, stories so strange, so cold, that they almost sound like fiction. This is the tale of two assassinations carried out decades apart, yet connected by one theme: the quiet, terrifying power of political revenge. Let's begin in London, 1978. A man named Georgy Markov was crossing Waterloo Bridge on his way to work at the BBC. He was a writer, once loyal to his home country of Bulgaria, until he began to criticize its communist government. Through his radio shows, Markov spoke boldly about corruption, propaganda, and the cruelty behind the Iron Curtain. But in the world of spies and secrets, words can be as deadly as bullets. As Markov waited for his bus that day, he felt a quick, sharp sting in his right thigh. He turned, startled, and saw a man behind him, well-dressed, holding an umbrella. The stranger mumbled an apology and walked away into the crowd. Markov thought little of it, until that night, when a fever began to burn inside him. 3 days later, he was dead. Doctors were puzzled, until they found something terrifying. A tiny metal pellet, smaller than a grain of sand, hidden deep in his flesh. Inside it was ricin, a deadly poison made from castor beans. And the umbrella? It was a weapon, specially modified to fire the pellet. Investigators linked the murder to the KGB, the Soviet Union's secret police, working with Bulgarian agents. Markov had mocked the Bulgarian leader Todor Zivkov on radio, and that was enough to seal his fate. He was killed for his words, in broad daylight, by an umbrella. They called it the umbrella murder. It was precise, creative, and horrifyingly silent. But this wouldn't be the last time an assassin struck in plain sight. Let's move forward nearly 40 years, to Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia, in 2017. A man checks in for his flight to Macau. He's tall, middle-aged, and wears a light jacket and glasses. His name is Kim Jong-nam, the estranged half-brother of Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea. Once seen as a possible heir to the throne, Kim Jong-nam had fallen from grace after criticizing his family's dictatorship. He lived in exile, under constant fear, traveling between countries with fake passports and secret protection. But even exile couldn't keep him safe. As he waited at the self-check-in kiosk, two young women suddenly approached him. One covered his face with her hands. The other smeared a liquid across his cheeks. Within seconds, Kim Jong-nam began to stumble. He ran to airport security, gasping, "Someone has poisoned me." Minutes later, he collapsed and died. The liquid was VX nerve agent, one of the deadliest chemical weapons ever created. A single drop can stop the human body from breathing. The two women were quickly arrested. They claimed they thought it was a harmless YouTube prank, that they were hired for a comedy video. But the investigation uncovered something darker. The women had been tricked, trained separately by North Korean agents who vanished right after the attack. It was an assassination disguised as a prank. A message from Pyongyang: betrayal would not be tolerated, not even from family. Two murders, one done with an umbrella, another with a touch of poison. Both carried out in public, both meant to look ordinary. Both reminding the world that true power doesn't always use guns or armies. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight. Markov's killer was never caught. Kim Jong-nam's death remains an unsolved shadow over modern espionage. But together, their stories tell us this: when leaders fear the truth, silence becomes their weapon. And those who dare to speak often pay the ultimate price. The umbrella. The prank. Two symbols of the invisible wars fought in the name of power. And as long as secrets exist, the next story may already be unfolding somewhere in the crowd. History isn't always written in ink. Sometimes, it's written in poison. Don't forget to subscribe to Whispers of History, where the past still whispers, and the truth never stays buried.